Brenda Charu, we're here with two very, very big words on the emotional scale, traumatic to even go through and experience. And so, obviously, I want to ask you, what's your take on it, and how do you take care of it?
So, cheating and betrayal was always prevalent in our society. But in order to explain, we look at cheating and betrayal, I want to talk about a story from the epic of Mahabharata, especially the episode of the game of dice.
Yes, please.
So Mahabharata is a story of struggle between two royal families, the Kauravas and the Pandavas. And the Kauravas was led by their eldest son, Duryodhan. Duryodhan was very jealous of Pandav because they were blessed with knowledge, skills, strength. So in order to defeat Pandavas, Duryodhan invited them for a game of dice. Now this game of dice was already rigged. And as a result, Pandavas lost everything. They lost themselves, they lost their kingdom, they lost even their wife Draupadi. So this story is a classic example of cheating and betrayal. But the way we look at this is that the Pandavas had their own set of energies or programs that led them to this experience of cheating and betrayal. We call them as the internal factors. A lot of people, they tell me that, you know what, I feel like a fool after getting cheated. But believe me, your skills has got nothing to do with this experience. It's the internal factors that will always drive you to these experiences. The other thing from the story is the place where this game was played. The environment was so toxic that though this game was witnessed by elders and saint-like people like Bhishma, Pitama and all, but the environment was so toxic that nobody stopped this game of humiliation. We call these as the external factors. These external factors actually add fuel to the flame.
So wait, hang on. You're telling me, Brenda Charu, that it's not just internal factors, but actually external factors that also play a role in these two things showing up in our lives? I mean, come on. Isn't it all internal?
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Who would have ever thought that external factors can influence your relationship, right?
Right. Absolutely. And sorry, Charu, were you going to say anything else? Because I just had to come in and ask excuse me, what is this? How is this external? How is my home? I am affecting me. So were you going to say anything else? Because I have something else to ask.
No, she was not going to say.
That's
okay. All right. So two things. A, thank you for the reference to this particular section from the epic, from our epic, the Mahabharata. I do want to bring up here, Brenda Charu, and please correct me if I'm right, that, so, I mean, cheating and betrayal does not exist because of the Mahabharata. It exists because we are humans. It's a human emotion. And as you just mentioned, Charu, that external environment was so toxic. So that environment, again, it's there as an example in our epic, but that environment is our environment. Again, coming down to the fact that because we're humans, and because we're humans, we're going to go through it. It's going to happen. So it's happening. We're going through it. Horrible situation. What are we doing about it?
So basically, we want to talk about how external factors for us basically affect us, right? Before we go to solutions, people should understand, because obviously we've told you a story. But what we want to actually bring out from the story is that the energy of cheating and betrayal is very much deeply ingrained into our DNA. As you said, we're humans, right? So exactly on that concept. So it's our way of life. And by no fault, we engage in these energies, because they are obviously ingrained in our DNA, our way of life. And we've thought that cheating and betrayal are part of our life. So ancestor after ancestor, generation after generation, we fall into this trap of what? Cheating and betrayal, because we have learned that this is part of our life. So as a person, a couple or a family, when we live in a space, it becomes our interaction of, let's say, positive, like, we started this call, wow, Neelu, you look wonderful, and thank you. And look, you just glowed, and you got into that blissful state, right? But given on the other hand, the thoughts like, if you're being told, oh, you're not good enough, or you're being pulled down, and you're given these negative thoughts, then obviously your energies are going to go lower. And what happens is energies not only stay within your auric field, they start getting imprinted into our space, into our environment, into our furniture, into the bed we live, our clothing, our jewelry. And, the whole space starts to build up, as a negative environment. Like, for example, if you just close your eyes and you take yourself to a hospital, right? If we just close our eyes and take ourselves, what does a hospital give us? We know we get that state of hopelessness, that death, that, and we become sad, our whole energy, it drains us, right? Because that's the environment, the toxicity of what's happening there. Because obviously that's what it is doing. And then we go to like a forest and the nature, and it's like that energy just encompasses you and invites you and creates that space, right? So this is what we want to do. We want to actually take our space, and we want to take it out from, the energies that are put into our space, like doubts, mistrust, jealousy, blame, fight, breakup, divorces, cheating, all the works, they stay there. And this is why, if ever we've done, let's say, sessions to, like, all of us work on our relationship, right? All of us clean our space. We light candles, we do sage, but is that enough? Like, is that really enough? Because you can make out if it's not enough by actually saying, I worked on my relationship. It moves a little, then goes back, And this is where the environment is, where it is holding all those energies. And then just a little bit, anger sparks, and you just tap into those energies, and then you go back. Take 1 step forward and 10 steps back, right? We've heard this. We all say that so many times.
In fact, something that just came to mind right now is right now we're still obviously talking about the external environment, and I do want to come back to that. But 2 things just stood out, because when you said, we all work on our relationships. So should we very safely break the myth that, well, not really a myth, but let's just break the glass ceiling, or whatever it's called, on the fact that cheating and betrayal is not just between husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, right?
No. So, yes, it can happen in any area of your life, whether it is friends, people betray to get better jobs, your colleagues. It can happen with siblings. It can happen with even with your staff. It can happen anywhere. So it's not just a romantic, it can happen with anything, even with your own self. Some people feel betrayal, like, if they're healthy and if they slide down with some health issue, they feel cheated, that I looked after my body so well, and then why did that happen? So it can play in any area.